All right, let's see if I am live here. Should be. Let's start the recording. So I am recording and live streaming. I probably won't need the archive, but you know, it's good to have it in case YouTube has a hissy fit and or my connection drops. Which, yeah, for those of you that are thinking about live streaming, make sure you have decent upload bandwidth, because if you do not, it will have a hissy fit and it will drop your connections midway through your streams, and you will not have fun. Anyway, welcome to the live stream. As I said, for those just tuning in, let me load up the page here for YouTube so I can see the comments. And should be, let's see. There we go. And oh look, I can hear myself. All right, let's see. So we got Skittles are better than M&Ms. Says, hello, hey, welcome to the live stream. Andrew Graham says, been there, done that. I think in reference to live streaming. I'm not really sure. Yeah, like I said, if your bandwidth isn't very good in terms of upload, not download, upload, it is going to be a very bad experience, because you need to have, your connection needs to be quick enough to upload data. Problem is, most people have a much better download, because the idea being, most people download data way more than they upload. Leander says, hello, hey, welcome to the stream. And I am caught up. Let's see, let's check the stats for people watching. Yep, all right, we're not doing too bad. We're up to 7. So yeah, this is just another live stream I thought I'd do, because why not? Just to see what you guys might want to talk about. In terms of the channel, like I said, I haven't really had too much to play, but I'm thinking about launching a mini-series over Alter Eon. It'll probably be 2 or 3 parts where I go over some basic concepts and go through a few of the starting locations, because the game is absolutely massive and trying to demo it all would be highly impractical. That, and I don't play it because at higher levels it becomes extremely unbalanced, and it tends to favor group play as opposed to individual play, and I don't particularly like that. But let's see. Let me go back to looking at the comments here. Cool Gamer says hi. Andrew says, I created a universe where all of our RPG audio games take place. Okay. Skittles says, what is that? I'm not sure if that's in reference to what Andrew was talking about or me. Alter Eon is a MUD, which stands for a multi-user dungeon. Basically, think of it like an online version of interactive fiction. So in order to play, you connect to a server that does the vast majority of the processing, and you play it by typing in commands and receiving text back. In the case of Alter, it's a multiplayer online fantasy RPG. I'm sorry. So basically, you walk around this world and you have a character that has different abilities. You can be a mage, you can be a cleric, you can be, well, basically you have a bunch of abilities and spells, and there are quests and there are monsters to fight. And because it's multiplayer, you can play with other people. So you can chat on there, you can make groups, and as groups of players, you can walk around and you can do things. So basically, that's what that is. Audio Gamer says hi. Leander, do you know the audio game Emmerich the Demon? I've heard of it. I don't know what that is, though. It sounds vaguely familiar. Michael Thomas says, hi, Chris. How you doing? Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Cool Gamer asks if I've tested iOS 17. Yeah, I looked at it very briefly. There's not really that much new in terms of features for VoiceOver, but I tried Developer Beta 1 and it seems to work pretty good. It wasn't that buggy, but I went back to 16. Actually, speaking of betas, apparently the developer betas are now free. That is something that Apple changed just now. So if you enroll your Apple ID into the developer program, basically you go to the software update page of macOS or iOS, and you go into the option for installing betas, and you should find the option to install the developer beta. Now, having said that, I obviously don't recommend that people do that because these are betas. They are not finished. They're very unstable, or, well, they can be. And if you don't take the right precautions or you're not comfortable, you could break things, and then you'd have to spend time trying to restore your devices. So I don't recommend that you use them unless you're comfortable doing these things. But yeah, no, I've tried it. It's okay. I've also heard the macOS beta doesn't have too much in it in terms of new features for VoiceOver users, but I don't have a compatible Mac, and I probably won't get a compatible Mac until the M3 Mac Mini comes out, which might be another year or two. But yeah. Andrew says this universe basically means all worlds are connected. A Hero's Call, Entombed, A Blind Legend, Audio Wizards, Blind Quest, and a few more. Okay, so like it all takes place in one world, or they're connected dimensions? I mean, I guess that's... Huh. Cool Gamer says the Nike voice requires your iPhone or iPad to be restarted before use for some reason on the new beta. Yeah, because it's in beta, so things may not work properly. Oh, look, I'm caught up. I'm caught up on my comments. Imagine that. Yeah, no, like I said, it seemed like it was pretty stable to me. But what I did, I tried turning on. There's a new feature called assistive access, which is supposed to customize the iPhone interface by hiding different things. But the problem is I turned it on and I couldn't use VoiceOver because apparently that doesn't work yet. And I couldn't turn it off because I couldn't use the device, so I had to restore back to 16. But yeah. So, and I think it's going to be a pretty minor upgrade. Hopefully the lack of features means that they've spent time making bug fixes, particularly on Mac OS, because that's what needs bug fixes way more than anything else. But yeah. All right, let's see. Let me go back to the comments here. Andrew says it's a multiverse. Yeah, okay, so they're like connected universes. Okay. Leander sends an emoji, I think. All right. Cool Gamer says, good news, macOS Monterey X is busy and says not responding like Windows. Yeah, that's been a thing for a while. I briefly tried Ventura. Basically, I hacked it to work on my MacBook Air, though I don't recommend it because it didn't work properly and it was kind of a pain to get working. But yeah, I did try using Ventura, and there do definitely seem to be lots and lots of fixes, and so I hope that continues with what's this new one called? macOS. Oh hell, I forget the name. macOS Sonoma. But yeah, definitely, unlike Microsoft, when Apple says your device is not compatible, they really mean it. Cool Gamer says that's the latest version my 2017 MacBook Air works with. Yep, those are stuck on Monterey, unfortunately. Dominic says, "Hi Chris, how you doing?" Hey, I'm doing pretty good. You? Cool Gamer says, "How did you do that?" I think you're talking about installing macOS on unsupported hardware. There's a tool called I think it's called OpenCore Legacy Patcher. The problem is I couldn't get it to work properly, so well, I got it to work, but I had to, I'm trying to remember how I got it to boot, because it wouldn't boot with the default method of holding down the option key. I think I had to, I'm trying to remember, because it was like this really convoluted process of trying to get the installer for Ventura to boot, and when the Ventura installer did boot, it was extremely unresponsive, and Yeah. Generally, I don't recommend it, particularly if you're not technically inclined. And of course, I think by this point, if you have an Intel Mac, it's probably time to move on to a new one, unless you have like a 2018 or newer. But yeah, so Cool Gamer Noma, yeah, that's the new version of macOS. Dominic says, I wonder why macOS has such stupid names. They're California landmarks and places in California. I don't know. Elif says, I'm a singer having trouble with breathing while singing. I don't know the English word for it, but I breathe so hard. I don't know. I can't think of the terminology off the top of my head. I am not musically inclined. Not at all. I mean, I guess just don't overexert yourself. Subsipute or something says, hi, hey. Michael Thomas asks if there will be new voices for voiceover in iOS 17. No. There are there are not new voices now. What they did do is increase the sample rate for eloquence. So that's a welcome change. Because the way it was before, it was very low quality and it sounded quite muffled. So that's a change that I'm sure lots and lots of people will probably like. Andrew says that's the book. Leander says, do you know Blind Quest 2 and 3 is available on Android? I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're on Android. I don't like their games on mobile, but that's just me. TTS Productions 1200 asks if I installed the beta of iOS 17. I talked about this before, but yeah, I briefly did, and then I went back to iOS 16. The toy collector says C, E flat and G walk into a bar. The bartender says, sorry, we don't serve minors. Oh, I see. Okay. That's corny, but okay. Dominic says, why places and landmarks in California? Because that's what they want to do. I mean, they used to name them after cats. So you had I think it was like Puma, Cheetah, Tiger, or no, Puma, Cheetah, Panther, Tiger, Leopard, things like that. Khalil says M1 Max have the best battery and speed. Yeah, the problem is I want an M3 because M3 will last longer in terms of getting updates. Sports Commentaries says, hello there, Cody here. Hey, I hope you enjoy the live stream, Cody. Skittles says, hey Chris, I have exams next week and they're making me do it earlier than everyone else, which means I get less revision time. Why are you doing it earlier than everyone else? That doesn't really make sense. Unless they have to adapt it or something. Cool gamer. Excuse me. Says, I am still trying to figure out how to run Snow Leopard in macOS in VMware Fusion. I don't think you can, unfortunately. Or if you can, it requires some convoluted workaround. I think the earliest officially supported version of macOS in VMware is Lion. Elif says, it feels like I'm climbing the stairs. I guess you are, what's the word? Winded? Yeah, maybe just practice controlling your breathing a bit more. I don't know. Cool gamer says, or VMware Workstation Player. Oh, I think you're talking about installing Mac OS. Yeah, that's even harder because you got to use a bunch of stuff. And like I said, if you want a Mac, buy a Mac. It'll be way less headache than trying to hack things to work, and you'll get a better experience. Axel's Universe says, I'm running the beta version of iOS 17. All right. Leander. What? Where is Joy Susie? I don't know. Joy Susie? I don't know what that's supposed to be. Axel is asking if I played SBYW. Yes, I did, and I did a demo of it. That was like 2.5 hours. I didn't think it would go that long. Andrew. I was giving someone a tour of my workshop. I said, here's the drill, the saw, the hammers, and the step ladder. I never knew my real ladder. Okay, that's really corny, and I don't know why you spelled ladder wrong, but okay, yeah, that's kind of corny. Michael Thomas says, what does sample rate mean? And yes, looking forward to that. Basically, it's the amount of samples of sound captured per second, I think. So typically, the higher the sample rate, the higher quality the sound will be. So now Eloquence on iOS and macOS will presumably, it will sound more like it does in, say, things like JAWS. Also, speaking of Eloquence, I've been told that it is now on the Apple Watch as well as the Apple TV. So that will be coming in the new version of those platforms as well. So I think that will make people happy that use that. All right, let's see here. Cool Gamer. Message retracted. All right, fine. Akash. I think it's Akash something says, Is there a Manamon 3 coming up? I don't know. I don't care. There's my answer. If there is, I'm not going to play it. If there's not, it doesn't matter to me. Sports commentaries. Do you know of any good websites that allow donations? Looking for money to get... What? Looking to get some money for the YouTube channel. I thought you could join as a YouTube partner and they would monetize your stuff, but I think you have to have a certain number of subscribers. No, I'm not really sure of donations. I mean, I guess you could set up like a Patreon, or there's a bunch of these platforms out there where you can set it up to where your fans can pay you a monthly subscription. The problem is, I don't know if I'd want to do that, because of the demographics. So the vast majority of people that are on this channel are blind. And of course, money, we don't have a whole lot of money because of the unemployment rate, which is due to people, well, it's due to people not wanting to play ball. So I wouldn't want to take money from a community that already doesn't have that much. That, and to do things like that, you typically need to have some kind of perks, and to deliver on those perks, and I can't really do that. Skittles says, I'm not sure, maybe because I get double time. I think talking about the exams. Yeah, I mean, if you get extended time, then that should give you more time to do your tests, and I think that would be better. Leander asks, why do I not play games anymore? Because there aren't that many left that are good. That's exactly why. Leander asks if I can do a gaming live stream. I could. Dominic, I might run iPadOS 17 on an iPad I got from the Commission for the Blind yesterday. Assuming that is your personal iPad now, you can. But if it's managed by an organization, I would not. Leander says, hello, OOM. Not sure what that's supposed to be. Andrew says, that's dictation for you, and I didn't check it. Oh, well, yeah. I don't tend to use dictation because it's not the most accurate. Leander says, which text-to-speech is readings at church? So if you mean, I mean, I have no idea, all right? Unless that was a dictation glitch. I don't go to church. Unless you mean the one I'm using. Primarily I'm using Ivona, but it just depends. Cool Gamer says, will my Apple Watch SE get watchOS 10? Yes. So basically, all watches that could run watchOS 9 can run 10, which is a very good thing. Cool Gamer says, or maybe it's 2022. I think they did actually have an Apple Watch SE that came out in 2020, and I think there was one that came out last year. So there's a couple of them. Slanton says, hi, buddy. Hey, how you doing? And I hope you are enjoying the live stream. Akash says, hey buddy, what did you think about The Veil? Is it worth the play? I think so. I thought it was a decent game. I'm hoping we get another game because the way it ended would suggest that there's more to the story. But I guess we'll see. Andrew says, how about the iPhone SE second generation? Yeah, that'll run just fine. Basically, iOS 17 drops. It drops support for the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10, but everything else is good to go. Leander asks if I know about the dark web. I know of it. I don't really want to go on it. There's nothing I want on the dark web. Oh, look, and I'm caught up on my comments. That's amazing. Let's see. All right, we've been live for about half an hour. I think I'll go, I don't know, I might go until 3. Maybe 3:30. Let's see here. Cool Gamer says, I recently started playing Timecrest in February and it's pretty fun. Yes, it is, and they just redesigned Timecrest 1. I'm waiting for Timecrest 4 before I jump back into it, which I'm hoping that comes soon because it's already been almost 3 years. But yeah, no, it's a nice little game. But there's definitely lots of things that we still don't know, but I get the feeling that they did that intentionally. Because we just don't know. There's lots of things we just don't know. Oh man, why am I getting tired? I should not be getting tired. Then again, my sleep schedule is all wonky. So yeah, I may have to go lay down here in about an hour. Non-24 is a major pain. Oh, I do have a question just to put it out to people. Just because I'm kind of curious, I'd be kind of curious to find out how many people on this channel watch it using something besides like a computer or a smartphone. Just because, it's a curio thing, but like, you could watch this on your TV or your PlayStation or your Xbox. So I'm just kind of curious what that would look like. How many people actually do things like that. But that was just a random curiosity thing. Andrew says, dress up as a calendar for Halloween and call yourself an update. Okay. That's very corny. Cool Gamer says, I don't like all the timers in Timecrest. Yeah, but the timers are meant to make it more realistic. I do think a few of them are a bit too long, but I guess those are to try to simulate extended periods of time passing, because as we know, time flows differently in Alintia than it does in our world. So I understand why they do that. Axel says, people say People say that Our Age Voice is available for iPhone in the App Store. I don't know what that is. Leander, a bunch of threes for dollars? Wait, what? I'm confused. Leander says, I am also blind. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most people that view this channel probably are, or they're low vision, because, well, I don't put graphics in here, and most people, if they don't see graphics, they don't care, which is a shame, but it is what it is. But I mean, having said that, this channel is, of course, open to everyone. So, yeah. Cool Gamer says, I found an Android TV so hard to navigate. I haven't used Android TV itself. I've used the Amazon Fire TV products, and those work pretty well. The interface is not the fastest in terms of pressing buttons and having things happen quickly, but it works pretty well. Android TV, though, I haven't really played with that, so I can't say how good or bad that is. But I think you can use I think you can use TalkBack. Leander, did you what? Did you say still snoring when she's sleeping? I don't know what you're talking about. Cool Gamer says yeah. Skittles, how good of a student? Who are you? Not sure what that's about. Andrew, have you checked out DB King? You know what? I've been meaning to. I need to get around to doing that. Not yet. Leander? Oh, I think he's talking about my sister snoring when she's sleeping. Yeah, she still does that. Leander, is there a new Voices on iPhone 2023? No. There are no new voices. Cool Gamer, I think whoever that is meant RH Voice. I don't like RH Voice. Actually, RH Voice is available on iOS, but for some reason it's not available in English. I'm not really sure why. Leander said, Nadia. Hero Subin says, hi bro, I'm from Pakistan. Hey, welcome to the live stream, and I hope you enjoy the channel. Leander. Okay, I think I'm caught up on here. Very good. But yeah, no, definitely thinking about doing a demo of Alter Eon. I'll probably have that up either later today or tonight or tomorrow. I just have to figure out how to demo it the best way, but I think I'm getting there. Aside from that, I really don't know. I'm waiting for Forza Motorsport, which is supposed to be completely blind accessible. So that is a mainstream racing game, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to find out how well that works. Hopefully I'll be able to buy it through the Microsoft Store, because if I have to buy it through Steam, it's a no-go. Sorry. Okay, hang on a second. All right, we got a few more things in here. Andrew. So once you said you don't care for tools being used to cast spells, why is that? And why do you mind if it's optional? Oh, and do you mind if it's optional for the wizard in question? I think the problem I have with that is just that you rely exclusively on that tool to help you cast. And so if it's taken away from you, if it's broken, you're helpless. And this was the problem I had and still have with Harry Potter. They use wands, and these people are supposedly born with magic. They look down on those that weren't, and they look down on mortal technology, even though technically mortal technology in many, many ways is better than what the wizards have. You know, I think about, there was this disgust over guns, I think, and it was like, you realize that in the time it would take you to raise your wand and speak your mumbo jumbo, I could shoot you from like way off. So just the fact that these people are born with magic and they can't use it. They can't use it through their mental will. As for using it as optional tools, I don't have a problem with that. I think, that can have some interesting use cases. Like, say, you could store magic inside of something and cast it without the need to use much of your mental will, or say you were becoming tired, and of course if magic is linked to your mental will, then the more tired you are, the harder it would be to actually cast. So that's fine, but yeah, just things like that are what bother me. But I mean, technically, I guess it really doesn't matter because it's all fake. It's not real. But yeah, it just bothers me. Mr. Apple asks, hot dogs or burgers? Definitely burgers. I don't mind hot dogs. And I actually just had a hot dog for lunch, but hamburgers are better by far. I typically like my hamburgers either without the bun at all, so just the meat, or if I have to have a hamburger, I like it with the bun, the meat, pickles, onions, and some lettuce. That's pretty good too. I don't put condiments on my burgers, so I don't use things like ketchup and mustard because I find it makes it too messy, and I don't like ketchup generally. So yeah. Axel says the last thing I need is Deck Talk on iOS. Yeah, that would be really cool. I'm surprised no one has ported it yet because that's now possible since Apple has their new API. But yeah, that is not a thing. Skittles asks, how good of a student was I? I guess I was pretty good. I got consistently A's and B's. So I was doing pretty well. The hardest thing for me was math, particularly geometry. Geometry made no sense to me at all. It is highly visual, and I was lucky to get out of the class with a B because I did not understand it at all. But yeah, no, I did quite well. The world of speech synthesizers. Do you know any good place to find cool audio games for Mac OS? You can check applevis.com. They have a database of iOS and Mac apps that you might want to search through. Also, most, if not all, of the games from the Audio Game .store website, so Hellhunter, Blind Quest, those games are also compatible with Mac, as well as RS Games. Of course, you can play Quentin C inside of your browser. But generally, most audio games are exclusive to Windows, because that is the much more popular platform. Like I said, regardless of whether you like it or not, Windows is the most popular platform in the world. And that's just how it is. Cool Gamer asks, what do I think of Survive the Wild? It's okay. It's a neat time waster. I get bored of it. But the new update is still in beta, and there's some cool changes in there. I might demonstrate a few of the changes, but I want to wait until it's not in beta. Enzo Stories says hi, hey, welcome to the stream. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think I am going to go here probably around 3 because I'm getting kind of tired. I might try laying down again. Andrew says, so if they choose to use a staff to be on the safe side, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not your primary means of using magic, because that's what bothers me. Is if these people are born with the power, why do they have to use these things? It's like, by that logic, why can't your average muggle grab a wand and use it? Now, of course, it's been said, oh, the wand helps you concentrate your power. It's like, okay, that's great, but why? But I mean, the thing is, there's no right or wrong way to do it because it's all fake. But yeah, that just bothers me. Leander says warm. I don't know what that's about. Akash says, speaking of Harry Potter, there's a game called Sarah and the Castle of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I find it very hard to play. Have you ever played the game? Played it back in 2011. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like Pac-Man, but you're walking around Hogwarts and you can steal a whole bunch of things, and there's all kinds of things to do. The problem is that game is very buggy. And the developer said 10 years ago he was going to work on a new version, but that new version has never materialized, and at this point I don't think it ever will. Last I heard, he said he was waiting on David Greenwood to update the GMA game engine, even though I thought the GMA game engine was updated like 8 years ago in 2014. Or no, actually that'd be No, actually, that'd be not 9 years ago, not 8. Damn. Because basically that game is built using the GMA game engine, which is the same engine that powers things like GMA Tank Commander, Pac-Man Talks, and Shades of Doom. But yeah, no, I don't know what's happening with that game, but in its current form, it is extremely buggy. Andrew says, yeah, because isn't that what the wizards in A Hero's Call do? They can use staffs to augment their power, but it's not necessary. They just cast it. Cool Gamer says, are there any voices for Sappy or NVDA which you would recommend? I'm using David and it's getting tiring. Yeah, so harposoftware.com has the vocalizer and Ivona voices for Sappy 5. I did a tutorial on how to download voices and how to buy them using that site. If you want voices for NVDA, you can get Acapella. So if you go to acapella-nvda.com, you can purchase the driver there, and you get all the voices that way. That's really the only thing I know of off the top of my head. Leander says BBM. World of Speech Synthesizers. What do you prefer, Macintalk or Vocalizer? At this point, probably Macintalk. I don't like the new Vocalizer. It sounds very compressed, and I don't know why they did that. Leander says, I thought you were not a fan of sports. I'm not. I'm not sure where you got that impression from. But I am definitely not a fan of sports. I don't care about them at all. Philip Baker says it's 3:23 a.m. in the Philippines. Or 3:20 a.m. Oh, geez. That's gotta suck.
Right here.
Mr. Apple says, would you agree magic makes people lazy? Sorry about that. I can't do much about that. The Harry Potter world is still stuck with broomsticks, while LWE LWE had the DC-10, MD-11, and Airbus A380. I don't know what LWE is. But yes, I think magic would make people lazy, because if you can just do things with magic, then you don't have to do it yourself, right? So, yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Skittles. Do you think it is worth getting a high degree, since, as you said, they wouldn't accept someone with a visual impairment? And sorry about the background. Like I said, I can't do anything. Do you think it's getting a high degree, since, as you said, they wouldn't accept someone with a visual impairment? That's up to you. Honestly, at this point, I don't think it matters what you have, because when people see blind, they don't know how to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it. They can't they can't imagine being blind and trying to live that way. And I guess the thing that goes through their minds is, well, I can't imagine doing it, so how can this person do it? And rather than going, oh, maybe if I just ask some questions, they just go, no, I don't understand it. I don't know how to act. I don't want to offend this person. I don't want to get sued. So I guess the reaction is just to ignore it and hope that the problem goes away. Now, like I said, though, that is your choice. If you want to get a degree, maybe that'll help you, maybe it won't. I personally believe that if you are judging candidates exclusively on whether they have a degree from a prestigious institution, that is a very narrow-minded view, and I wouldn't want to work for you anyway. Just because you don't go to a prestigious institution does not mean that you are it doesn't mean that you're a moron or that you are less intelligent than someone that did. And like I said, the best thing that people could do is just talk to us, because the more you talk to us and the more questions you ask, the more comfortable you get, and the more you understand. We are not aliens. We just do things just a little bit differently. But that's the problem, is people don't want to talk to us. They just don't care. So, as I always say, you have to sift through a sea of garbage to find the treasure. But the treasure is extremely rare, and it's unfortunate. Galaxy Alex asks if I've heard of Cereproc TTS. I have. I don't like most of their voices. They sound too choppy to me. Cereproc, I think that's how you spell it. Yeah, no, I've heard of it. It just, I don't personally like him. The Goofy Hippie says, hey, welcome to the stream. Leander says, St. Umar is my Jeffro? I have no idea. The World of Speech Synthesizers. Have you tried the really old version of Survive the Wild? I'm talking about the side-scroller that had a timer. A long time ago. It was really weird. Killer Zombie 888 says, hi, just tuned in. What's a game you'd never play, even if you got $1 million? Oh gosh, I don't know. That's a hard one. Probably Mortal Kombat, because I would get bored of that. I don't know. Enzo says, what is your favorite iOS game? By far, that would have to be either Lifeline or Timecrest. Akash asks, what would you consider the game that bugged you the most? Probably probably Paladin of the Sky. That game was obnoxiously difficult. Andrew says, yeah, I think blades and things are used too. And he also asks, are the Siri voices vocalized? Or something of the sort. I don't think they're vocalizer. I think they're customly designed by Apple. Leander, I'm not sure. I'm still not sure what you're talking about. The world of speech synthesizers. Do you think there will be new versions of Crazy Party? The time between them is getting longer. I think so. At last I heard, the work being done on it was to get it converted to the same engine that STW uses. So hopefully soon the game will no longer be based in BGT, which would be very nice. Enzo, why does no one talk about how 1-2 Switch is completely accessible? That's the game on the Nintendo Switch, right? So that's great. Problem is the Nintendo Switch itself is not accessible to a blind person. And at this point, it probably won't be, because the likelihood is that within the next year or two, Nintendo will come out with their new console. I'm hoping that is the opportunity that they will take to build a screen reader, though I'm not going to hold my breath. Sorry about that. Kathy is having a meltdown. We'll just have to bear with. You'll just have to bear with me. But yes, the problem is Nintendo historically, they seem to live in their own world in Japan, and it's my understanding that they are violating all kinds of accessibility laws in the United States, but either it's not being reported, or no one cares, or Nintendo could probably take people to court over it and win because they would have more money. So, yeah, until they make a screen reader, I am going to assume that Nintendo does not care, and I will not buy their products because it might as well be a paperweight. Killer Zombie 888 says you also have AT&T, but it's hard to buy. Why don't you like those voices? I think talking about Sarah Proc, because they're very choppy. I don't like them, but I mean, the problem with all this stuff is it is extremely subjective, so you're not going to please everyone. As for the AT&T voices, I think you can buy them from nextup.com if memory serves. Cool Gamer says, I am very mad at the way the new vocalizer sounds, especially since Ava was the voice I used the most on 15. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I don't know why they did what they did to Vocalizer. It's very strange. But I guess we can't contact the people that make it, so I don't know. Enzo said, just not the game ball count on 1-2 Switch. Not sure what that is. Cool Gamer says, I am in London, Canada, and I know a guy that works at Apple that is blind. Well, I know there are blind people there. I wish they would talk to management, because there is definitely a quality control problem there, and it needs to be fixed. Apparently there was someone on Applevis who claimed to be from Apple, and this person said, "Oh, we appreciate this site and everything that you do, but we're not allowed to look at it at work." And the first thing that went through my mind was, excuse me, how is that productive? The purpose of Applevis, one of their purposes is to document bugs and things like that. So if these people are working at Apple, why wouldn't you be allowed to look at this resource to, help you fix bugs, help you work on features, help you prioritize things, allow you to engage with the people that you claim to serve? And, I suppose it is possible that these people genuinely do want to help, but they have their hands tied by corporate. And I think it's unfortunate the way that Apple runs their stuff. They make great products, but the people there are a bunch of assholes. Or at the very least, the people that run things and make big decisions. And it's like, I don't understand that, but if that's how you want to run your company, I guess that's how you're going to run it. But yeah, no, I don't get that, right? Why wouldn't you reach out and actively communicate with the users that you are trying to help? It just makes no sense. But they don't do that. Leander are talking about the game. No, I don't. I was talking about Apple just now. Enzo asks, when will the next version of Pitch Black: A Dusklight Story come out? The first one was too short. I don't know. It'll be here when it gets here. Leander asks if I'll go to space one day. Probably not, but you never know. Probably not. Mackenzie says, sorry I'm extremely late, but hi, hey, and welcome to the stream. Akash says, which game character would you like to meet in person? Gwen. Definitely Gwen. Gwen Adrianus. Leander. Why his sister? Not sure what you're talking about there. Diana Arda, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, says, agreed, the Switch does not have a screen reader, which I really want to make with Nintendo. Yeah, no. And they don't seem to care, but like I said, I'm kind of hoping that the next generation console will. But only time will tell, right? Bryant says hi, hey, and welcome to the stream. Johnny says hi. Juna Vora says, your favorite combat mechanics in a game? I don't know. I kind of liked the way that Paladin of the Sky did it, but it was obnoxiously difficult. Cool Gamer have you ever had Crazy Party count as malware to a browser? Yeah, but that's a BGT thing. So you have to save the file directly to an excluded location on your computer, and it shouldn't bother you. The world of speech synthesizers. Do you know if BK3 is written in BGT? No, it is not. It's written in some other language. But it's definitely not BGT. Bryant says, although I think the compressed vocalizer is the one you can get from Harpo. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know why they did that. I think they should not do that, but whatever. Cool Gamer. I think it was a false positive, but Windows was counting it as malware. BGT applications are flagged as false positives. Killer Zombie. You just talked about Nintendo not being accessible, but isn't that the case with the Steam Deck? Yes, although my understanding is the Steam Deck, you can install Windows 11 on it, so in that case it would be. But yeah, it's not natively accessible by default. And the less I say about Steam, the better. Well, Steam and or Valve. Junevora. Any text or 2D game that wish comes up with a full audio 3D in future. I think it'd be kind of cool if Timecrest had way more sound effects. That would be cool. Cool Gamer says, yeah, you're right. I remember testing that site a few months ago, and the compressed vocalizer voices are the ones that were on there. Yep. Oh, and Brian is saying it could have been someone pretending to work for Apple. In which case, that's not really cool to post stuff like that. Yeah, it's possible. The thing is, we have no idea because no one from Apple will talk to us at all, ever. Cool Gamer. What is your favorite iOS version? That's kind of hard. I did kind of like iOS, probably 8, because that was when they introduced Alex, which made the experience so much better. Mackenzie, did you know Acapella has a bunch of new voices? Yeah, I do. I don't like most of them. The Lily voice, is pretty good. But, yeah, I'm not a fan of most of their voices. Leander asks, what is a Switch? It's a handheld game console from Nintendo. I guess it's like a tablet, but you can also dock it to a docking station and plug it into a TV. Akash said, I found this game called Braillemon and I'm stuck. I've never played Braillemon. It's like Pokemon, or I think it's exactly like Pokemon, but I've never played it. I don't really care. I think it's incomplete though, so good luck. Enzo asks what the next game is that I'm excited for. Probably Forza Motorsport. I'm hoping it's as good as they claim it will be, because I have wanted a good racing game for a long time. Leander. Sent some kind of graphic. Johnny. I found out that a Western drama is on the Switch. Might not be accessible, but some games are playable. That's great, though the less I say about a Western drama, the better. The only thing I will say is I sure hope it's optimized to run on the Nintendo Switch, because it sure was not optimized to run on iOS. World of Speech Synthesizers. Oh, also, I believe Brock the Investigator is on the Nintendo Switch as well, so that's cool. The World of Speech Synthesizers. Do you recommend any accessible text adventure game? You mean like interactive fiction? Like classic interactive fiction? That's hard. I did like a couple of them. Heroine's Mantle was pretty cool, though it's very difficult and it's not meant for newbies. That one's a game where you play as the Crusader and you have to save the city from bad guys. There was another one called Heist, where you had to break into all these places and steal things to get into a bank vault to steal, I believe it was the crown jewels. Mackenzie Parker. What about Google? Will they not talk to us either? I don't know. They don't seem to. Honestly, neither does Microsoft. I mean, yes, Microsoft is receptive to feedback, but that seems to be about it. Leander says, no. I'm not sure what that's about. The Goofy Hippie says, can you play STW for free, and how do you get started? Yeah, you just have to go to his site and download the game, and I think it'll ask you to make an account. You choose a username. It wants your email and a password, and then you make your character, and you can begin playing. Cool Gamer asks if I use Braille screen input. Yes, I do, and it is extremely helpful. So for those of you that haven't mastered it, you really should take the time to do so, because it is incredibly handy, and once you do master it, your typing will drastically increase. Your typing accuracy and speed. Let's see, we got Bryant. Says, if Code Factory for SAPI is still available, that might be the older version. I think it's still available. I think you can go to codefactoryglobal.com and you can find it there. World of Speech Synthesizers. What is your favorite macOS version? Snow Leopard. It was very stable and it just worked. Bryant. I also know you can or used to be able to buy Vocalizer from AT Guys. I think they are resellers for Vocalizer-NVDA.com, which is still a thing, and they're using the older version of Vocalizer. The World of Speech Synthesizers. By the way, I think Alex was introduced in iOS 9. No, it was 8. I remember very clearly because it was a big deal for me personally, because prior to that, the voices were awful. Enzo says, what platform is Braillemon on? That's for Windows. Leander, can you describe Ellis what it looks like? I have no idea what you're talking about. Cool Gamer asks what the latest acapella for NVDA is. I think it's 1.6 or 1.7. I don't remember off the top of my head. The World of Speech Synthesizer is asking about Linux and which ones I've tried. Honestly, the best one I've tried, and the one that works the best I have found, is Arch Linux. Now, yes, you do have to build it from scratch, but I like Arch because basically I have a very minimalistic install. So it's got the Mate desktop, Orca. I have Firefox installed, and I think that's it. So it's a very tiny install. It takes up less than 8 gigabytes on my drive, and it updates constantly, so you always have the most current versions of your software. And I haven't had it crash on me. I haven't had Orca crash on me. It just works extremely well. But Arch Linux is definitely not for a newbie. For a newbie, you'd be better trying something like Linux Mint. Juneb Vora says Android has all the required sensors, so why don't games like Circus Master's Revenge come to Android? Because iOS is more popular, and I guess developers think it's better to spend the time to target the platform that has the most blind users. Leander, can you describe how a Switch looks like? No, because I've never really used one. But I think it's like a tablet, and like I said, you can dock it to a docking station that plugs into a TV, and then you've got controllers. So it's like a hybrid console in the sense that you can take it with you on the go and use it on battery power, or you can dock it and play games like you were playing a console on your TV. Johnny says 1-2 Switch is a bunch of mini games to simulate life, but you're supposed to hear it and not look at it. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Cool Gamer talking about dual booting Windows 10 and Linux Mint. I am never going to dual boot Linux ever again. I tried doing that once and it failed horribly. Mackenzie, does STW work with JFW? I think she means JAWS for Windows. It should, yeah. Enzo says, I use Braille screen input when talking in your live streams. Yes, Braille screen input is amazing. I'm trying to find an equivalent on Android, and I can't. I guess there is a advanced Braille keyboard, but I need to customize it because the gestures right now are very confusing. But yes, Braille screen input is amazing, and you should definitely take the time to master it. I promise you will not be let down. Leander, can you eat adventure at sea? I don't know what you're talking about. And it's not SEA, it's C:, as in your computer hard drive. Although I will admit, the first time I heard that title, I thought it would be a game about pirates or doing things in the ocean. I was like, well, this might be interesting. But no, that is not what that game is about. Leander asks if he can play more Android audio games. There is one called Rosemary's Fate, which I will look into. I have it downloaded. I just haven't gotten to trying it yet. But yeah, I'll try to do a demo of that soon. Mackenzie Parker, vocalizer for Linux. Yeah, so you can go to... I forget what the site is. The product is called Voxin, Voxin, and you can get those voices and install them. Yep. The world of speech synthesizers. Do you agree that Linux Mint or most Mate Linux looks like XP? It does, which is why I prefer it. It is a very nice desktop environment that is very easy to use. Enzo says, my Bop It button doesn't seem to be able to switch modes. You should be able to. You just may not be performing the actions properly. Or you might want to take the battery out and put it back in. Enzo, do you think real-life accessibility could ever touch the navigation in a Hero's Call? I don't know. I think certainly if you had a head-mounted camera and you linked it with services like Aira or Be My Eyes, you could have a person tell you, oh, turn your head to the left and I can see down that way, and if you want to go that way, you should walk this way. Or, maybe if you're trying to grocery shop, you could walk around the store and the person could tell you, okay, I see the chips are off to your left, so if you reach your left hand out and you move it over, I can tell you exactly when you find the item that you want. So I think things like that are definitely possible. Whether you can get an AI to do that or a computer program to do that, that remains to be seen. I kind of doubt it, but you never know, right? So I don't know. It's hard to say. Houston said, did you know Dice World had an update recently? Yeah, I've heard about it. I'm not really a major Dice World player. It gets boring after a while. Leander, if I might ask, why are you not talking about the race, sports, and sex? Oh, just because those are topics that generally are very controversial, and you don't talk about these things in polite company or in public. I prefer to talk about these things with people that I can trust and know won't go crazy because I have a different view than they might. That's why. Leander asks if I make games. No, I don't have the patience to program. I wish I could. That would be very cool. But I do not. And I don't know programmers, so... Nope. Mackenzie. Someone should make accessible Mario for iOS or Android. Yeah, well, there have been attempts to make accessible Mario and they failed. Mackenzie, TalkBack Braille keyboard. The TalkBack Braille keyboard is horrible. It's upside down and you can't flip it around. And yeah, I don't like it. Cool Gamer is also saying the TalkBack Braille keyboard. And talking about the Switch, looks like a tablet with a kickstand on the back. And 2 controllers on the sides. Yeah, I think those are called the Joy-Cons, right? The World of Speech Synthesizers asks if I have a Braille printer. I do not. I wouldn't mind having one, but they are prohibitively expensive. Johnny. Talking about the Nintendo Switch. Enzo says we need more games like Circus Master's Revenge, a blind game, I think you mean A Blind Legend, and Into the Dragon's Cave. I mean, those games are okay, but they're just action shooters, and I get bored of those. Yeah, so we got more descriptions of the Nintendo Switch. The World of Speech Synthesizers. Talking about uploading a video where Microsoft Sam tries to take a music lesson. Oh dear, that might be quite funny. And I don't care if you want to talk about your stuff on here. I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. Akash asks if I played The Blind Gladiator. No, because it's not available to purchase anymore. Houston. I recently downloaded Discord on my phone and I'm mad it doesn't work with VoiceOver. It should work with VoiceOver. It did the last time I used it, which was like a month ago. Bryant, I heard Cortana for Windows will be discontinued. Really? I didn't know that. Cool Gamer. Did you know there is an Alincha Discord server? I did, and I was part of it briefly, but I left because it was too spammy. Matt something says, hey Chris, do you know where to get Icefire by... Oh, you mean Acefire by Excite Interactive? No, because apparently it was taken off the Audio Games archive. I'm not sure why. Enzo says, no, a blind game. It's like Circus Master's Revenge with zombies, but it's not as good. I don't know what that is. Houston, have you ever heard of the Orcam My Eye? Yes, but it's too expensive and it doesn't seem like it's worth it. So I don't really care. The Goofy Hippie says, can you make weekly STW videos? No. There's not enough content to do that, really. Bryant says Microsoft wants to move away from personal assistants and focus more on their Bing AI service. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I wonder if Cortana in general will just be discontinued. Cool Gamer, have you heard the new soundtrack for Timecrest? Yes, it is very good. The person who made that music should be commended because it is top notch. The World of Speech Synthesizers. I just got interested, so I booted up my iPhone 4S. I can't find the Alex voice. No, the Alex voice is a 64-bit program, so you'll need the iPhone 5S or newer, the iPad Air or newer, the iPad Mini 2, I think, or newer, and of course the iPad Pro. But yeah, no, that voice is not on. It's not on the 4S. Matt says, so you do not have setup, right? Yeah, no, I don't have the Acefire installer. If I had known they were going to take it off the archive along with Chopper Challenge, I would have backed them up, but I did not. Enzo says, what's better, dogs or cats? I don't like animals in general. I don't really have that much of an emotional connection to them. But if I had to say, definitely cats. I kid you not, I am afraid of dogs. I don't want to be near them ever. They are extremely loud creatures. They're just nasty. They will try to eat literally anything. I don't like the way that they'll try to jump on me and lick me, because, like I said, that triggers the I'm gonna die response inside my brain, because I can't see them and they just jump on me, and I don't like that. And I've also had them bite my fingers and things like that. Now cats, I respect cats because they are very independent creatures. They do pretty much what they want, and they don't take crap from anyone or anything. So that is very cool. But if I had to pick, I wouldn't have pets at all. I would much rather have another human. Alright, let's see. Matt asked if I'll play Crazy Party. No, it's not really worth it. The only thing I play on Crazy Party now are battles, and even that's getting boring. Houston says Instagram is very blind friendly. I can't comment because I don't use it. Cool Gamer. As for me, I am more of a cat person. Yeah, definitely would have to agree. Oh look, I'm caught up on comments. Alright, let's go until 3:30. Just because. Then I think I'll wrap this up. Let's look at the stats here. But yeah, no, I do not like dogs. I don't think they're cute. I think they're dangerous. Or rather, they have the potential to be dangerous. And yeah, so if you have dogs, keep them far away from me. At this point, I would even go as far to say I wouldn't want to date people that had them, because then I would be stuck with a dog, and no. And no, I don't want guide dogs either, because I question how useful they actually are. The thing I hear the most is that they're good for avoiding obstacles and people, but they can't help you get from point A to point B. You still have to know how to do that, and that's the problem I have. So that wouldn't help anything. And I do have to say too, I think it's pretty sad that people will pay more attention to you when you have a guide dog. I think that kind of speaks to the kind of society that we live in. But yeah, that's pretty sad. But you know. All right, let's go look at these comments again here now that I've given some time. Dominic, oh, that's unfortunate. So he had a cat get him in the eye. That sucks. So, yeah, I mean, it's a preference thing, but yeah, no, I do not like dogs at all. Mackenzie says you don't seem to be tired today. Yeah, I took a nap earlier. Johnny, the Joy-Con comes in different colors. Okay, talking about the Switch. Enzo said, my friend told me that some more of BitLife's games are becoming more accessible. I hope so, for people that like to play those. Cool Gamer says, eSpeak is available for Windows, but you have to have TestFlight. I think you mean Mac, right? Because TestFlight is on Mac OS and iOS. Enzo, did you know there's such a thing as a guide pony or horse? Yeah, those sound really weird, and I wouldn't want to take care of a horse either. Cool Gamer, yeah, I think you meant iOS, yep. Leander, thank you for the description of the Switch. Yeah, that's good to have there for people that want that. The Goofy Hippie, I am also a cat person. Like I said, I tolerate cats, but if it was my choice, I wouldn't have pets. I'm caught up. So, yeah, this has been an interesting Q&A, I suppose. So I'll just take a few more comments here, and then I think I'll wrap things up. Let me actually refresh the page here, make sure I'm still going. There we go. Just pause that. Where's the chat? Uh-oh, I can't find the chat. Levi says, asking about iOS 17. I talked about this before, but yeah, it seems like it works pretty good. It's still kind of buggy, and it's very light on voiceover changes, it looks like, but yeah, I think it works okay. Enzo, emojis, let's see. What about mayonnaise? Asks Enzo. I don't like mayonnaise. Johnny talking about the Switch. Okay. Yeah, just trying to think here if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about real quick. Yeah, expect the demo of Alter to be up either today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow. What else? I think that's it. I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else, and that's all that's coming up. Enzo, mayonnaise mixed with ketchup on a cheeseburger? No, thanks. We got more descriptions of the Nintendo Switch. Enzo is asking on what platform. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not sure what the context is. Oh, man. Let's see, what else? Wait, why is that open? Let me close some of these tabs here. Yeah, it's almost 3:30. Holy cow. Holy cow. Thompson Off is talking about Audio Game Manager on Mac OS. I don't know. I've never used it. Audio Game Manager, I don't think it's I don't think it's officially supported on Mac OS. So good luck. I think it's mainly meant for Linux. Dominic, definitely have to go with hamburgers. Hamburgers are better than cheeseburgers. Mackenzie, don't make me hungry. I want tacos. Enzo, the thing you just talked about. Can't wait for the next live. See, I don't know because I'm reading these in order and I'm losing context. Sorry. Yeah, no. You know, these are always interesting, I find, and of course they are archived, so for those that want to go back and listen to them, you certainly can. Yes, Thompson, Audio Game Manager will work on Ubuntu. Enzo, I see. Alter Eon, because it's a MUD, it's played across the internet, so technically it should work on anything. The easiest way to connect to it is using Telnet, but the thing that I'll be demoing is MushZ, which is a custom version of Mush client made for Windows, with a whole bunch of features to make it easier to play for blind players, including sound effects, which I think are critical because in a game like this where things happen in real time, you need the sounds to help you do things in a timely manner, because like if you were just trying to play this, say like inside of a terminal, and you're trying to fight something, if you have to hear a speech engine jabbering on and on and on, you might already be dead by the time it tells you. So I don't play MUDs unless they have sound packs, but yeah, I mean, technically it is platform agnostic, though if you want the best experience, you would want to use it on Microsoft Windows. Johnny talking about the Switch. Enzo says, thank you for the stream and the many videos that you make. Well, man, like I said, I'm glad people find this helpful. It really does. It makes me feel good it makes me feel like I'm making a difference, even if that difference is very, very minor. You know, like I said, if I make at least one person happy or I help one person, then it's all been worth it. So I'm glad that you guys like the channel and everything that goes along with it. Dominic, yes, MushZ is free, and the game itself is free to play, though you can buy credits, which will let you get some extra items and things like that. Thompson, how do I find instructions for Ubuntu? There really aren't any. You just got to run the file, and it will tell you what dependencies you're missing. You install those until it's good to run, and then you just run it. But yeah, the demo of Alter Eon will be coming soon. I'm probably going to break it into 2 or 3 parts, just because I want to give an overview of how the mechanics work, how the game itself runs, as well as how the Mush client program operates with it. And then I think I'll do a few of the starting areas just to give you an idea of how the game plays. But playing the entire game is highly impractical and would take ridiculous amounts of time, because the game is massive. There's technically not an end. You just keep playing it and playing it and playing it. But yeah, so that'll come up here pretty soon. I thought about doing it a long time ago, and then I got sidetracked, but I had someone comment like a day ago asking, and I thought, well, we can try playing it. So that's what I'll do here in a while. Dominic asks, where do you get that client? It's mush-z.com. mush-z.com. So you can download it there. You can also read the documentation. Yeah, so that's where you can get it. And of course I will be of course putting links to that in the description as always. The main website is altereon.com, which they have a blind support page which has a link to grab the MushZ client. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. And so you guys take care. As always, if you have any questions, comments, things like that, you can leave them. But yeah, so for now, you guys take care, and I will talk to you later.